years ago. I just love that. But I actually kind of really fabulous weather here, so hopefully we have good weather. My phone's not working?
It's on.
Okay. Let's keep talking?
Yeah.
And so, today is Sunday. Friday, we go to LA, so I'm excited for that. I'm going to go to LA with those shirts. I think I need to get some. Like a kind of like a half shirt, I'm thinking, because I'm kind of wearing the bikini. I'm 40, you know, younger people can wear the bikini. I do like tanning with a bikini because you get a good tan line, like when I'm laying out here. But in front of people, I'm good. But I know people are gonna hate these shorts that I'm wearing right now, like and if people hate the way I do it, my hair, like I'm trying to look young. I just like my hair this way. And I don't wear it in public very often this way, but occasionally. But I do like it this way. I don't know, it's just fun. I find it really fun. I've always liked my hair this way since the time I was young. And as far as the shorts, yeah, they're supposed to be fitness shorts, but I thought they would be really good for at the beach. And Richard showed it. He picked them up, and he showed it to me. I said, "Yeah, those are sweet." But actually, they actually work good for this, I think. But they're a little bit snug in the back of behind. Okay. Oh, he's getting your microphone. There. Oh my gosh, you guys! I was so close yesterday on my bet. I've been doing this thing where I like when Richard will list off the teams that are playing for whatever sport. Like yesterday was college football, and I like to not know who's the favorite or the point spread or anything, and just have him go down the list and me just like kind of like you know, like kind of trust your feelings, I say, and like, you know, be like which team is gonna win. And yesterday I think I got like 6 out of 7. Which if I just left one team off, but you know, it's one of those things. You never know which team is gonna be the one. On your bet. But today I did it again, and there's one team that I was a little iffy on, and they were the underdog, and they're the ones give me heck right now with the NFL games right now. So I did it again, which is fun. So but all my other ones I'm winning, and there is a couple of them that are upsets, but there's this one that was a major upset, and I was like, "Wah," and they were in the lead for a second, so I was like, ooh, what now? And then, but I'm having so much fun watching so many different sports because I like to do these tiny bets, like $1 or $2, and if they win, you could win like $100 almost on some of them because they're just so crazy in the sense of like seven game parlay or something. And so like I'll get like 6 out of 7. I'm like, oh, if I just made it a 6. But then you'd be like, would it have been that team that I took off, or would it have been a different team and still I would have lost, So it's just the thing, you never know. But anyways, it is day 25, no alcohol, which I feel really good today. And it's also 25 days till New York. So it's half and half right now. So tomorrow I'll be more days sober than the days left I have to New York. And I call it California sober because I do smoke weed. I like weed. But I do not drink alcohol when I'm in Vegas. But I might when I go to New York. And that's why I'm not going to go to New York anymore. So this will be my last trip to New York. I mean, if I go again, it's going to be in a long time. You know what I mean? But I don't see the point of me going to New York again. So this probably will be my last New York trip. So this will be my last struggle with alcohol. And then by the end of the year, like, I'm quitting it for good. And maybe I won't drink when I get there because I will have 50 days before I leave of no alcohol, and that's a long time compared to my other trips. Because my last trip, I only had 23 days in between. And now, I had less days in between than I have now, because now I went 25. I was already in New York last time, at this point. So this is going to be better, going with 50 days is a long time. That's over a month. You're almost to 2 months, So each day I feel better, and each day I don't feel like drinking. Today, I don't feel like drinking. That's not something I feel like at all today. I'm not that's so far from my brain. But then New York is just one of those things I struggle with. So that's I'm glad I'm not going to continue going, because it's just why keep putting yourself in the lion's den? Okay, I'm going to do some push-ups here, or should I do some nunchucks? What do you think? Yeah, let's do some push-ups first. All right, that'll be nice. It's pretty sunny out there. It was actually chilly this morning a little bit. Okay, I'm trying to do 20 push-ups. If you guys have been following, I have no idea how many days I've been working out now, because I was working out for X amount of days, which I don't remember what the day was. What was it, 10 or something? And then we went to LA, and I didn't work out for 3 days. And then I came back, and I've been working out since then. So we came back on Sunday. I started working out again on Monday of whenever that was. And then we're going back to LA on Friday, this Friday. Yeah, so last Sunday, yeah. So we've been home a week from LA, because it's Sunday, yeah. Last Sunday we came home. So I haven't even been working out for a week yet. Okay, because I started working out on Monday. Here we go. Let me try and do 20 push-ups. I'm talking. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, now they weren't perfect. They're all the way down, but I'm getting there, you guys. Getting there. Little by little. It's much harder to get back in shape than it is to get out of shape. Out of shape goes real fast. 2-3 days of not working out, and you're already starting to get out of shape, you know what I mean? And then when you're back, oof. That's why people go to the gym every day. They say you're not even supposed to go every day. They're supposed to say you're supposed to rest. But man, if you don't work out regularly, it's you skip a couple days, and you're woof. Start getting tired again. Okay, I'm gonna drink a little water, and then I'm gonna do 200 crunches. Might be a little dark here right now, because I'm all in the shade now. Normally the sun's beating down here, but all shady now. Okay, I'm gonna do 100 with my legs up like this. Oh, I'm off my mat. Too far. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Okay, and I'm going to do 50 with each leg up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay, and 50 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. All right, cool. That, and then I'm gonna do some nunchucks. Get some water, and then we're gonna blog. Ah, what a wonderful day. Feeling really good today. Day 25, no alcohol. So I'm California sober because I smoke weed with no alcohol. But when I go to New York, I might struggle with the alcohol this one last time. And that's why I'm not going to New York anymore, because it's like I don't want to keep struggling with the alcohol. And a lot of other reasons, but that's one of the biggest reasons. Because it's just too much of a struggle for me to be sober there. Okay, California sober. Actually, I'm like, when I'm there, I don't smoke weed at all, so that's probably part of the issue. I didn't even nunchucks, that's what we're doing. It's part of the problem is, if I smoked weed when I was there, I probably wouldn't struggle with the alcohol as much, but I don't feel like dealing with that in the hotels, trying to figure out how to smoke weed. Because you can smoke it outside, but it's really hard for me to smoke weed outside. It's really because, like, I was going to say, like, it gets windy. I don't know, I can never light it. It's just like, it's not something I like doing. You actually are allowed to in New York, though. Smoke weed. Anywhere that you could smoke a cigarette, you're allowed to smoke weed. All right. Where's I sitting? Is this good? Okay. I feel like I look like a track runner or something in these shorts. And with the USA. Yes, I'm a USA Olympic track star. Yes. Just kidding. I liked track. I was good at track until I had to compete. Like, I liked running track my whole life until I did track in high school. And I was like, I don't really like this. I don't like this, like, you guys are nuts how fast you guys want to go. Kill yourselves over this. No, thank you. I just enjoyed, like, running. I'd be, like, smiling. And then when you had to, like really push yourself at a meet or something, I liked practice. I didn't like go to the meets. Okay. Workout, did some checks.
Midge is here.
Hi, Midge. How's it going, Midge? Thanks for being with us today and every day. You're the best. It's a wonderful day in Las Vegas. Since today. Let's see how many times I can go. Okay, one more time. Let's see. One more time, guys. That'll be it for this. I'm sorry, I hit myself. An accident. Yeah. If you do it too many times, you will clock yourself a couple times. Like that.
You are a hot grandma.
I know, right? Yeah. I am a grandma age. I could have grandkids. If life had gone differently. I'm 40. You could have grandkids at 40. It does occur. Oh! Oh! That was a good one. That one's gonna leave a mark. Oh, right in the kneecap. On the side of the kneecap. That one hurt.
Tammy says she was 40 when she became a grandma.
Yeah, see, I could be a grandma. I am the age I could be a grandma, so I'll take it. A gilf. I'll take it. I'm done with these. It hurt me today. I was thinking, meanies. My kneecap's not happy right now. They will get you. You guys, and it does hurt. It's no joke. Like but it's hard to describe. It's like it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the most enjoyable thing either. It's kind of like you feel like it's making you stronger. You're like, okay, I can take it. But you do get bruises sometimes from the nunchucks. That's not good. So this is a towel, not a flag for those. Definitely need to turn sideways in these shorts. And these are actually fitness shorts. They have two purposes. You can wear them in the water or for fitness, like for working out. Oh, I did already get a bruise. There comes a bruise. That's where I get bruises either from my nunchucks or when I drink alcohol. So my bruise went away that was on the side here, but hey, this one's going away. The one when I tuck and rolled out of the car. My client was talking about it because he actually had seen it from the beginning, and he was like, oh, it actually is getting way better. Because the lady did tell me at the tattoo place that since it hasn't even been a year, it will get better. Because I thought it was like that was the scar and that's how it was going to be. And I was like, oh man, because it's like two bad scars, but they are getting much better.
Are you going to get a tattoo?
I thought about if it was going to be that way. I have one tattoo and I don't like it. And I don't not like it because it's, significant to my mom and brother, but I don't like having a tattoo. And I wouldn't choose to get another one. Me and my sister have matching ones. I got one, I was like 21, 22. But I considered a tattoo rather than look at that ugly scar forever. There's two of them. There's the one it looks like it's bruised, but it's got like little it looks like little pebbles in it, because that's where like I hit the gravel, and then or the whatever the road is, the asphalt, and then the other one is like up here on my hip. It's just ugly. So I talked to this. It was in New York City, so I just walked into the tattoo parlor and I just said, can I ask a question? I said, is this something that you can cover? She's like, when did that happen? I was like, March. And she's like, oh no, that's way too new. We can't even tattoo that right now. But she said, but that's not going to stay like that. That's going to get way less than what you have right there. So I was excited about that. And that was in probably June or something. I don't remember when I asked her. And so it is getting better and better. So it hasn't been a year. That happened in March.
Looks beautiful, says Tam.
Oh, thank you. I think a lot of it happened when we were in LA.
Repeat what I said to the game.
Someone said I had a beautiful tan. Who said that? Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. I always think you guys can hear what Richard's saying, and then I just say other. But
Yeah, you start talking.
I know. I think my tan developed a lot in LA when we were at the beach, because we try to tan here, and we do get tan when we go to the pool. But I think when we went to the beach, that just really, because we came back really tan after going to the beach. And we're going on Friday. I'm excited. We have our boogie boards arrived this week. We got them on a real good deal with the Walmart.com had one of those like Amazon Prime deals where where everything was super affordable.
So why did you decide not to have children?
Lots of reasons, but
You don't have to talk about it now.
yeah, but the question was, why did I not decide not to have children? I forgot to repeat these questions. Why did I decide not to have children? Because after my mom died, like I wanted to have children before my mom died. That was going to be something. I was going to have children young, and I was getting married young. But once my mom died when I was 20, everything got changed. And the thought of children without my mom being there made me very sad, because she wanted to be a grandma, like, a lot. That's all she ever talked about. My mom was one of those, like, wanted me to have kids young, wanted to be a grandma. Like, I want to be a grandma. So once she died, I was really close to my mom too. When people like don't know, when I talk about my mom a lot, like, I was insanely close to my mom. And a lot of times it was just me and my mom, because my dad left, and I had a sister, but she was gone a lot, so it was often just me and my mom for a lot of my life. And when she died, like, it just, I don't know, I just, the thought of having kids, and I was dating this guy who I was very serious about, but we had just started dating, but like, we were very serious. In the military, you get serious very fast. But then my mom died, and so that relationship just went haywire. But probably if my mom hadn't died, we probably would have got married and had a kid. Because he ended up marrying the next girl who was a friend of ours, and they had a kid like immediately after that. And he was already saying he wanted to have kids. And I like met his family and everything. So he lived in, his family was from Nashville, Tennessee. So I went to Nashville, Tennessee, and met his mom and his dad. His parents were actually divorced, but I met both of them, and then like his aunt and all these people, his cousins and stuff. So I think I even met his grandparents. So they like really wanted me to be a part of the family. But when my mom died, everything just kind of like, I don't know, just went haywire. And then as I got older, I didn't really want to even get married or have kids, because I only really wanted to have kids when I was young. And I had an opportunity to have a kid, and then I changed my mind as I was a little bit older. But then there became a point that I didn't want to have kids, because I was like, I'm too old. Like, once I got to my mid-30s, I didn't want to have children. So there was only like that window to about 35. I didn't want to have kids after that. I was like, man. Richard wants to have kids, but I don't want to. I don't know. I feel like I have enough like things I can take care of. I don't need like kids. I have a buddy, and I have my family. So I just also think once my mom died, I didn't feel that my life was a good situation for a child, because I really struggled with an eating disorder and alcohol. So I didn't want a child to be brought into a bad situation. Like, if I didn't have my stuff together, I wasn't going to have a child. And so I didn't really get my stuff together for a really long time. Like, I was just a mess, Like, I was a mess where, like, I would, was not, paying my bills regularly, because I was, like, spending my money on things like alcohol or food. And so I was getting behind, and then I would, eventually have to move wherever I was living. It was usually like with someone I knew, so it wasn't like serious, like a credit thing. Would be like, oh, you're behind not paying your rent or whatever, and I get behind, and then I'll get you, but then things start catapulting onto you. And so there were times that I would kind of like, at times like, not fully live in my car, but it'd be like, for a short time, like I'd be kind of in between places, but always be like couch surfing at all my friends' places. So I really was like sleeping in my car, but you might have like your stuff in your car. But when you get drunk, you just like, hang out at people's places. But, and it upset me, because I had always been so good at my finances, and like, I let like, I don't know, my alcohol and food addiction kind of get out of control. And so people thought, that those things only occur if you're like doing like a drug, like a street drug. I had never done a drug. It was just alcohol and food, but it did make me like waste all of my money. Like, I was working a normal job, and I was working in real estate and stuff, but I would just spend my money. Like, after work, I'd go to like happy hour and just like spend too much money. I'd be drunk and not think about how much money I was spending. Like, I'd manage my account when I wasn't drunk. When I was drunk, I'd be like, oh dear, and like overdraft my account or something. Just very poor choices. And so all during that time was my late 20s, and like before I met Rich. And it just didn't seem like a good situation for a child, because I was always kind of like worried about my finances, and my health wasn't great, because I wasn't taking care of myself, and I was very depressed and stuff. So it just, I don't know, there just was, the window of time that I wanted to have children was like a really bad window of time for my life. I guess that makes sense. And then I never wanted to be like an older mom. I don't know. I didn't want to be a 40-year-old mom. I wanted to be like a 20-year-old mom, because I'm tired. I just don't have the energy to like do it with running around a child. But when I was in my 20s, I thought kids were great, but now I'm like I used to babysit a lot. Now I'm like, I'm good. my bunny's enough for me, And so I knew that was going to be the case as you get older. My parents were young. My mom had my sister when she was 22 and me when she was 25, and they got married when they were like 19. So they were very young parents, and I liked that because they had a lot of energy, and played with us a lot and stuff. Whereas, the older you get, it gets harder, to run around with the kids. So I was like, my dad, we rode bikes with my dad all the time, played basketball with him and stuff, So like when we would go to his house, and we always went like swimming or like hiking or a lot of active stuff where I can't even. My dad still rides his bike, but actually, when I talked to my dad in New York, he did finally stop riding his bike because I think he's 66. Yeah, I think he's 66 this year. He was born in 1959. And he did stop riding his bike. So, as you get older, it does, and that's crazy for my dad because he loves riding his bike. But I asked him, I'm fine, it's too tiring. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And it was something that was so significant, but it's weird how when you go through like a super tragedy, like losing someone like your mom or your dad or your brother or sister, or maybe your significant other or something, or a really good friend, or I don't know, maybe even your grandparents, if you're really close to them, or aunts or uncles, or someone that's really close to you. Could be a friend that's like really, really close to you. Then I don't know, life just becomes different. Like you look at life differently.
So Shane, on October 14th, will have 1 year clean and sober.
Hey, good job, Shane. On October 14th, 1 year clean and sober. Everyone give a congratulations to Shane. 2 days from now. Oh, today's the 12th? I didn't realize it was 2 days from now. That's awesome. In 2 days, Shane has a year. That's so significant. A year is really hard because the first year is the hardest. So Shane, it only gets easier. The hardest thing is if you cave in again and have to start over, but as long as you stay on it, you're good. Once you got through that first year, it actually is kind of smooth sailing. Like, you actually don't want to cave in because you don't want to go through that again. Does that make sense? Once you made it a year, stick with, after that next years are easier. Because the first year was the hardest year, and you're like, I'm not doing that again. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. That's how I was for years. It's like, you just go, I'm not going to do that again. But then, so what's going to happen with me, and I'm holding with this, you guys. People think I'm crazy because they go, well, how can you, totally choose? Well, I've always done it like this. I've drank and then I haven't drank, but this is my commitment to everyone, to my family, to everyone is November is the last time I will potentially drink, and I might not, but if I do, it's only in November for the Manhattan trip, and then that's it forever. So even if I go to New York again, I'm not going to drink because it'll be so long that it'll be much easier for me. Does that make sense? Let's say I do go to New York, which I don't say yet that I will. It won't be for another year from now. Does that make sense? So then I'll be much stronger. Like Shane here, a year, you're much stronger. But when it's only been 23 days, or now it's going to be 50, that's stronger. So maybe I won't even drink in New York. But I have committed that that's it, and no more 2026, no drinking, and on. And till the day I die. And I like it that way because it was too hard thinking next time I go to New York, and even right now thinking, I am going to New York one more time. But I think the thought, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be my last time drinking, let me go crazy. It's more just if I want to torture myself one more time, it's more like that. Because the withdrawals are not fun.
We got another one.
Oh.
Anna will be 2 years sober on October 23rd.
Hey, Anna, on October 23rd, 2 years sober. Congratulations, everybody. I hope you guys, I don't know if you guys do AA and get your coins or whatever, but good. Those are huge.
If you're still sober.
Yeah, and my middle name's Anna. A-N-N-A. Joy Anna. But those 2 years, like I said, the first year, Anna can probably attest, the second year is easier, but each year it gets even easier. So her third year will be easier than her second year. But the first year is the hardest. And the first month, So I haven't even made it the first month. I made it 25 days, which it's almost there. But everyone goes, but she's going to drink again. But I've just been doing this weird thing this year. Like I said, this was my weird year of it was my mom. It's now my 40 year, which meant 40 years I've been alive, which meant my mom died when I was 20. So it was 20 years that I lived with my mom, and now 20 years she's been dead. So this is like a transitional year for me of kind of like resetting of like, I have to just move on, you know? Hopefully maybe even next year I won't even be talking about her anymore, because it's just like it's a reset. So I'm going, why I know that it's important that I go this trip, which I almost wanted to cancel, but we've already paid, and as we have non-refundable some of the stuff, so it's like, why waste money, you know, of like that we already paid doesn't make sense, because we just could have not booked the stuff. So I mean, I think it means for me to go. We don't usually like do things like that, but the other reason is I'm literally coming home November 18th, which is the 20-year anniversary of my mom's death. She died November 18th, 2005. So it's kind of significant, and she was from North Babylon, Long Island. So it's like significant that I'm kind of like closing the chapter of New York on the day of my mom's death day. That's the day I come back to Vegas too. So I'm not even there all by myself the whole day. It's kind of nice. Like I'll spend the morning thinking about my mom, and then I come home to my family on that day. So I don't even spend the whole day like alone, which I think is cool.
Okay, a couple things. Z Woohoo is here, says hi.
Hey Z Woohoo.
And also Tammy says she'll be 9 years this year.
Nice, Tammy, 9 years. That's fabulous. Wow, Tammy's probably doing great. Don't break that, Tammy, because that's so significant. That's like you're cruising for the rest of your life now on that. That's awesome. Yeah, but so I had this kind of.
By the way, Tammy's followed us from day one, and when everybody was calling you all sorts of names,
I remember. Sorry, guys.
Obviously, you're.
Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. Tammy, I guess from day one has kind of been around and kind of always been supportive. So thank you, Tammy.
Yeah. Oh, why I came out here was because people are asking a lot about like why you sound like Miley Cyrus or why you're.
Oh, that's because I had an eating disorder for many years that I don't like to talk about, but it's the one, you know, where you binge and purge, and that destroys your vocal cords. And I've struggled with it on and off a little bit with these Manhattan trips, so it didn't like fully, like this year it's not been as good as the years before because it had healed pretty well, but I've struggled on and off, so my voice has not really fully come back, and it is really a bad thing to do. If anyone is struggling with that, you will destroy your voice at some point. And it's embarrassing because once you destroy your voice, once people realize that that's what it is, then you start to notice all the people that have voices like that, the hoarse voices, because a hoarse voice is not a natural voice. It actually only can come from damage to your vocal cords, which there's not very many things that would, like, most people aren't just like damaging their vocal cords. And you say singing actually strengthens your vocal cords. You might lose your voice at like a concert if a singer sings an entire concert, but then it comes back. But this like constant hoarseness, that's a damage to your vocal cords. And we've known about it for years where people sounded like that and we thought it was normal, like Deborah Winger or whatever, but they probably were doing the eating disorder that I did. And it damages your vocal cords, and it doesn't ever fully come back. It comes back a little bit if you quit, but never fully. I mean, I never got back my voice the way it was like before. You know, I don't sound the way I did before I ever did the eating disorder back when I was younger. And my family was very disturbed when my voice kind of first went away. And once you kind of notice that that's what people are doing, then you'll hear like the hoarse voices on TV, and it kind of is a telltale of what the woman's doing. It's very interesting, and it's like, ooh, you're pretty obvious, but a lot of people don't know, so it's not that obvious. But the people that know, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? So like I know, and I'm like, and so I know that people that know, they know that I probably have struggled with it, and that's happened to me where people have come up to us in the past when I was still struggling and talked to Richard about my eating disorder and things like that, because I used to have the worst voice before I quit.
James says,
it's being an aging sweater.
James, when you first came in, he thought you might be Jamaican for a second with your hair.
My hair looks much darker. You know, I'm part Native American, but it looks much darker when I braid it. It's lighter because my hair is like a dirty blonde naturally, like light brown dirty blonde. But when it's in braids, it looks much darker for sure too. And my skin is pretty tan right now, so. But anyways, yeah. So I've struggled with that eating disorder for a lot of my life, and that was part of it when we started the channel, was my recovery and then Richard losing weight. But it was confusing because the channel used to be called Weight Loss Force, but I was insanely like emaciated, and so that confused YouTube, they were like, what? Why is this emaciated girl wanting to lose weight? Because I was stepping on a scale, but I was actually trying to gain weight. But I guess we didn't fully communicate that well, because the thing's called weight loss force, and I'm stepping on the scale, and I'm like, emaciated. And then they started, flagging the videos or whatever. Because at first it was something that was loud, but then they got changed. And then we started, they're thinking I'm trying to lose weight. But Richard was trying to lose weight, and we were trying to incorporate it together. I was trying to get healthy and get over my eating disorder, and Richard was trying to gain weight or lose weight. So we eventually changed it to the healthy
How is the
Healthy Family Force.
Watching the sports, you want to know how you're gaining.
Oh yes. So that's how the Healthy Family Face, because we want to be healthy. But anyways, the sports, I don't know how the one game is going. I don't want to tell you guys. Yesterday, I told you earlier, I said I got like 6 out of 7. So I just picked who was going to win for the college football. And I don't know the teams this year. I mean, we just started watching, and I'm just going off of because when I watched when I was younger, I know which general colleges are good, and I kind of just get a feeling. So I got 6 out of 7 too. Only didn't get one right. From just Richard going down the list before it, I don't ask the spread or anything or which is the favorite. He'll just say both teams, then I'll tell him, and then he'll say the other team. And so it's a fun thing I like to do. And I put like $1 or $2. And if I had won that one yesterday, I think it was either going to pay $100 or $200. Maybe it was $200 because it was like 7. I can't remember, but I missed it by 1. So I did again today. I never learned. And there's one game that's in question. But that's the game that actually is the big upset. But I felt I was iffy in my mind, but I kind of felt it could be this other team. I won't tell you guys. And if that one comes through, but there's a good chance that one won't. But I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm pretty good at picking which team will win. I'm not that good at picking the other stuff. Like Richard likes to do like over and under and all this stuff. I'm usually wrong at those often. But I'm usually pretty good at picking which team will win. And without knowing who's the favorite, just like kind of I get a feeling. I'm like, but sometimes I'll second guess myself and then I mess up. Because you do second guess yourself and then you can't remember what was like your first thought. Because I like to do that kind of like my first thought. But I do enjoy it just on like a small scale. But I won't put a lot of money on betting. Nah, it doesn't make it fun for me. If there was like a lot of money, it wouldn't be enjoyable. I wouldn't enjoy the game. I'd be like, nah, too much riding on this game. No, thank you. This way it's fun with like $1 or $2. I know it's still money that could be lost, but when you win, you pay off like all those things. Like you win one time, and we do win those parlays. The $100, and then you got like 100 days of bets, or at least 50 days of bets, So that's kind of how we do it, and keep a little, because it keeps your little bank on the online betting so then we know if we have any money. And if we don't, then we wait a minute till we wait and we don't bet for a minute, and then we decide to bet when it's a good day, and then we get to win again. Because sometimes it gets a little, especially when we're betting on the Mets, they start losing, they don't win every game. So if they're on like a losing streak, you're like, all right, let's not bet for a minute. This isn't going in our favor. I miss the Mets already. We've been watching. How did I do on the baseball yesterday? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember because we watched so much college football. Was there even baseball yesterday? I think there was. I think it was. Wasn't the Dodgers? I know that they're playing today. Was it the Cubs? The Cubs play? Was it the Cubs and the wasn't Seattle? Was it? Who played yesterday? I can't remember. I think the Tigers maybe played. And that was Tigers in Seattle. Mariners. I don't remember. It's all becoming a blur to me, but they're at the end now. I think it's down to the Dodgers, and I want to say they're playing the Brewers, but I can't remember. But I'm going Dodgers. I'm going Dodgers and Marlins. No, I keep saying Marlins. Mariners. Seattle. I'm saying Marlins. That's like Miami or something, right? Who is? Oh, Miami is football. I was like, Miami is playing today, but football. Yeah. Yeah, I did pretty good yesterday. I'm so mad. I forget what team messed me up. Oh, I know who it was. The Sooners. I didn't think that would happen. OU. Oklahoma. And I guess their quarterback just came back from surgery, which is something I guess would have been important to know. So he did not do well. I didn't see that. They lost. I thought they always win. Not yesterday. Who played for baseball yesterday?
Baseball. Nobody played baseball yesterday.
Oh, was it? Yeah, it was just. Yeah, that's what I remember then.
Okay. So we got some.
There you have it.
That Ravens lost.
Was that the only one?
That's gonna be the only one.
Are you joking me?
Okay, so come on. Let's see what we have here.
You're joking.
So you have.
I got all the other ones.
Let's see. Indianapolis Colts.
Only the Ravens lost. That was the one.
Okay, Dallas Cowboys.
They were playing the Chargers.
The Carolina Panthers are tied at the moment.
Oh, the other ones are still going.
Okay, Los Angeles Chargers.
Damn Ravens.
Are down by 1.
John Harbaugh.
But they have the ball with 40 seconds left.
Which game?
The Los Angeles Chargers versus Miami.
No, then who were the? Oh, they're playing the Rams.
You got Seattle and you got New England.
The Rams and the Ravens.
What you did not get was
the Rams and Ravens, is it?
The Rams Ravens. Okay.
LA Rams. Not the Chargers. I have the Chargers. I have the Chargers, right?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Ready?
The Chargers.
So Tennessee Titans or the Raiders?
You know, that one's a toss-up, but Titans. The Raiders don't win anyway.
What?
Raiders never win. I mean, I like to bet on the Raiders, but they never win.
San Francisco 49ers or the Buccaneers?
Oh, Niners, sorry. You're not going against them.
Bengals or the Green Bay Packers?
Packers.
And Detroit Lions and Kansas City Chiefs?
Chiefs. Even though I don't want it. They better win, though.
They better win.
Because I don't like betting on them.
Cross your fingers
But
on this one.
I don't like the Chiefs, but they do win. So Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And make sure Taylor Swift's at the game. Goodness sakes. Okay, we'll see. Man, no, I didn't get. I knew I wasn't gonna get that one. That one was a major upset.
But yeah.
The Ravens. I really was having faith in the Ravens. Bad idea. I got all the other ones. All the other ones are winning. I always do that to myself. I thought about that one too. I was like, I should go with the Rams. I didn't want to pick all LA teams because I feel like I favor certain places, and then I feel like you can't always favor places when you're betting. But sorry, I don't bet against the Niners, and I don't bet against the Mets. I usually don't bet against the Raiders, but man, they just so rarely win. But if they win today, I'm gonna feel bad for not betting on them. Today's gonna be a bad day of betting, I can tell. I bet you the Raiders are gonna win, and who else is gonna win on that one? Oh, watch the Chiefs lose too, and the Lions, because I want to bet on the Lions, but I just feel like the Chiefs are gonna win. Every time I bet against the Chiefs, I lose. Why'd I do it? Why'd I do it? Those guys just always somehow to figure out how to win a game, even if they were losing the entire game. So frustrating. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, if the Chiefs and the Raiders, well, if the Raiders win and the Chiefs lose, I'm gonna be mad because I wanted it to be the Raiders winning and the Chiefs losing, but I bet the opposite. So that's why betting sucks sometimes. You can't always bet for your favorite, unless, I don't bet against the Mets. Sorry, not gonna happen. Sometimes I just don't bet. If I'm like, I don't think they're winning today, I'm not gonna bet today. But I won't bet against them. I won't even bet for home runs from the other team. Richard does it all the time. And I'm like, you are betting against the Mets when you do that because you're saying you want a point. A hit's one thing, but even that's a little bit. But a home run is definitely like a point against your team. Like, but he does it or whatever. But Mets and Niners I don't go against, so we'll see. The Niners will probably mess me up today then too. Who were they playing again? I don't even barely listen. Was it Bengals? No. I think it was the Cowboys. Who were the Niners playing? Panthers, I think it was. The Panthers? I don't remember. Alright, we'll see. Fingers crossed. You guys just heard my bets. Probably will definitely lose them since I've never won a bet that I've stated to all you guys. But I figure, I lose and win bets, whether I say it to you guys or not. So I don't know if it plays a factor, but you guys probably put your bad juju on it. Anyways, so this is why Vegas is not doing well, because everyone just bets online. I mean, this is the Caesars app, so that does kind of benefit the casino, but it's much better if you're in the casino spending money than just sitting at home, drinking your own spring water and eating your own food, you know, and not putting any money into a machine or something. So, we're going to LA this Friday, which I'm really excited about because we have our boogie boards coming on Tuesday and Wednesday, I think. They're supposed to come. Hopefully they don't get delayed. And I don't know where we're staying. Richard booked the place, so it's kind of a surprise for me. I like not knowing. But we're staying at a new place, and I don't know where we're going to go for the beaches this time. Maybe we'll check out some other beaches than we did last time. I really liked that Santa Monica Pier, but, and what was the other one right there? What is that? Venice Beach. Those are really nice beaches. Those are right next to each other. But we might be staying a little further away, so maybe we'll go to a different beach. But those are some really nice beaches. If we're close, I might go back there, because I have been to other beaches, and they're not all... There's some really nice ones, though, but then there's some that are not as nice, you know, because there's some nicer areas and some not as... Those areas are nice. Like, Venice is really nice. I mean, the sand was like... Richard was teasing that it was so fine, you know, it was like almost like ashes, you know, it was like, and, it's almost like that sand that they put in those, you know, when people play with those little things, you know, like it was like this perfect sand. It's beautiful. So I'm excited to, and I think my tan came from LA more than here, because something about when you're in the ocean, I think, because it's something about the sun reflecting on the water, I think makes for an even more intense sun, like tan, because like if you think about it, you got like these reflectors on you, so I gotta remember to bring the goggles. And so we had them in the car, but I was like, why are we bringing the goggles? Because I was thinking, like, we wear the goggles in the pool, and we wear these swim caps because we found out that our hair turned green when we swam in the pool regularly. Imagine that. That happened in Panama. So we got the swim caps, and then the goggles just make it so much nicer if you're trying to swim than having all the water in your eyes. And then we also have the tinted ones. So when the sun in Vegas... But I was thinking, oh, we don't need that stuff for the ocean. But the goggles are very helpful because they have a tint on them. Because you can't bring your sunglasses. So that was the part that was the hardest of being out there. I would have stayed out longer, but my eyes were like burning. So I'm going to bring the goggles this time, and then our boogie boards. So we'll be able to be in the water. I would love if we could go on Saturday. It just will depend on how much time and with work. So it might be Sunday that we go again. But we definitely want to go before we leave. It might be Sunday again, because it might be the only time we have. We just go right before we leave and do another blog, like right before we leave, at whatever beach is convenient before we take off. I'm just really excited. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I go to New York in 25 days, so November 6th. So it'll be, I think I have like 2 weekends. I think it's 2 weekends in between. I was looking at the calendar the other day, and then New York, but I'm not exactly sure. But I think it goes LA and then 2 weekends. So 3 if you're counting LA. But it goes like LA and then 2 weekends and then New York, I think. And this will most likely be my last New York trip. And I'm excited about that. A little sad because I do like New York, but excited too because it's just too much, you know. And I would have kept doing it because I can do it, but it's just, it's not good for my health, you know. It'd be much better for me to just go to LA and not be challenged with the alcohol anymore. Because even if I'm challenged, I'm there with my husband. Like, what you guys don't understand with my drinking, I'm not one of those, like, let me sip a little drink of alcohol. I'm like if I'm going to drink, I'm going to drink. So it's a decision that, like, if I was on a trip with Richard, I would have to say I want to drink, and can I drink, and it would be a big discussion. It wouldn't be like, let me just take a little sip, because I would want way more than a sip. I would want to drink more and more. You know what I mean? So once I start drinking, I want to drink more. So it's that's where times when I've thought, oh, I really need alcohol, and then I go, but I want to drink more than one, because I could probably get away with no one noticing if I had one drink, but that's not what I want. So it's like, that's what's good and bad about me. The bad thing is that I'm that way, but the good thing is it does keep me from drinking, because it's like, some people might be like, I just need a drink. I'm not one of those people. I'm like, I need a six-pack. I need to feel good for the night if I'm going to start drinking, not like one drink, get out of here. So it does stop me, because it's like, there's no point, and it's such a bigger, like, commitment in a sense, to like talk about it and have like this whole thing, and then reset my sobriety day and all this stuff, you know what I mean? Where I think if I'm one of those, some people, I think early on it's a little more that way when the first couple days where you're just like, give me something because you're hurting. But even with me, I still tend to not want to do that, because I know it's just going to delay the withdrawals that I've already started. Like, I know when I get home from Manhattan, I have to go through withdrawals. Like, it's something I've already accepted. Like, I have to go through withdrawals. So it's just like, do I do it the first day or the second day or the third day? Well, that's up to you, Joy, how much you want to like delay this. So it's like, that's why when I get home, I go, let's just do it the first day. I only drink that last day. When I'm traveling, or like when I leave New York. I normally don't when I travel, but I got a beer that last time, which was bad. The flight attendant gave it to me. She never charged me. She was like, you're hurting, girl. I don't want to be like that the next time coming home if I do drink. But if I do, like I said, that will be my last time. So then what's going to happen when I come home in November, so I'll come home November 18th, then if I did mess up my sobriety, I'm going to reset it, and then it's going to be reset forever. And that's what I really am like committed to do. And people are like, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. I'm like, if I don't go to New York, actually I can, because that's what I've always done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sober right now. I do it every day here. It's very easy for me here. It's very difficult in New York. So every day is a challenge in New York. Like, even if I make it the first week, the next week is still equally as challenging. So I'm there 12 days. So every day is a challenge there, where that's not the case here. So I don't want to keep putting myself through that. So I'm happy that I'm going to LA. And in LA, I actually just want to be healthy. Like, there's such that positivity of health there. And like there's the sun is out, and people are like exercising so much in LA, or like going to the beach, and they have phenomenal bodies. So you're like, oh, you want to compete a bit, or you're like, oh, when you're somewhere where no one's even trying, you kind of like let yourself go. But in New York, or not in New York, New York, there are people with good bodies, but a lot of times people are just either too thin because they probably walk too much there, or they're just covering up their bodies because it's cold there often. But in LA, people are, expressing their bodies, especially on the beach, and you go, wow, I want to look good because everyone here is looking good, and I don't mean compete where like I'm going to look as good as the 20-year-olds, but you want to be like, let me look as good as I can for 40. And there's other places that don't really have that positivity of like wanting to look good or health. And LA fully does. I mean, people look fabulous there. I mean, we're just like, what is this? I mean, it's just like so many good looking people. It's a little bit intimidating, for sure. Especially because we don't look as good as we've felt that we've looked in the past, We're kind of in the middle right here. We're getting there, but, like I'm just kind of getting back into working out. So these people are like, like fitness people, at the beach and doing their volleyball, and they're, or just just laying out, but are like, ripped stomachs and stuff. And you're just like, wow, it's just very, very, I think that is a good influence. Some people say, oh, I don't want to be around that because it makes me feel bad about myself. But if you kind of take it as like an inspiration, like I'd want to look like that, instead of being like, oh, I can never look like that, forget them. Be like, I would like to look like that. It's kind of the way I look at it. So when we went there, I did feel like, I want to next time. Like, even Rich was like, he's like, I want to eat more of like the beef, less of, like, he was eating like a lot of like hot dogs and things, because he's saying I want to and a lot of nuts, and he was even doing those pork rinds. He stopped getting those. He wants to get a little bit more toned, because when you're taking your shirt off on the beach, you feel a little bit more, challenge to look good, I guess. You know, if you got your shirt on, so he's wanting to get more, because Richard used to be, six pack. You guys probably seen the old photos, and he's still toned now, but not the way he used to be. So he wants to get that back, and I think the more we're going to LA, that's going to happen, because we're starting to like I said, it's just like a more vibe of positivity, of like positive health positivity. But even like positivity all around. Like I came back from LA last time kind of like getting out of my depression. Like I was in the biggest funk pretty much since I've been going to New York, because even though I love New York, it was sending me into depression because of the challenge with the food and the alcohol, and primarily the alcohol there. Because that's the thing, I barely eat when I'm there. It's really bad. I just drink alcohol, and so I get like all my calories through alcohol too, which is not good. That's very unhealthy. And because I actually gain weight when I'm in New York, but it's through alcohol. And so it's good that I do gain the weight, but I would rather it be in a positive way, like gaining it through protein, or good healthy foods, not alcohol. So. This year has definitely been not the best for health year for me and Richard, and so we want to definitely have the New Year's resolution be transition into better health, focusing on our health, because we are getting old, and as you get older, you don't get healthier. Like in the sense of like when you're young, you can like bounce back. When you're older, each thing kind of affects you more, and you have more ailments, you have more bruises, you have more bumps and scars, you have more like pains and and freckles and lines and anything, everything, your hair's thinner, everything's just not as good when you're older. Yeah. You get more hair on your back than on your head. No, I never got hair on my back. That's men, but I don't know if women ever get hair on the back. I never have. But maybe women do. They'd be like the bearded lady, hairy back lady. But going to LA, yeah, we just both felt like a real sense of like, let's just get healthy and stay healthy. And that's why I made the decision. I said, I don't want to go back to New York besides this trip. And when I was in LA, I was like, oh man, I can't believe I'm even doing this trip. But we had already paid, and I said, well, it must mean I should go one last time and kind of say my goodbyes to New York. It must, when you go, why did I do this? You go, well, later we'll probably see why I did that, And I don't think it was a wrong decision, because we could just cancel it and be out a little bit of money, but I don't think it's a wrong decision. So I think kind of means no, press forward and go to New York for the one last time. Say bye to New York, get my last souvenirs I might want, my last little sweatshirts and t-shirts. Because those are harder to get here. I mean, when you order them on Amazon, they're not the ones that you get in New York. So little things like that, and they're not that expensive there when you buy them, even the guys that sell the t-shirts on the corners, their $5 t-shirts are like good quality t-shirts. They're not like super good quality, but they're not t-shirts that are gonna like rip or tear. They're they're thick, they're quality. Last time I did get this one that was bad. This guy charged me $10 for these one t-shirts, and one of them the stuff's coming off. I don't pay attention to that next time. That one was it's only one out of, I got like 3 for $10, only one was bad. They kind of chismed me on that one. But most of the ones that you get for cheap, and then here it's like fun, we got New York, everything. But a lot of times I buy them in the souvenir shops, and those ones are a little more expensive, but those are a little better quality. But sometimes I just get them from the t-shirts from the guys on the stand. I haven't done that since like 2023. Normally I buy them at the souvenir shops now, and they do like deals like 2 for $20 or 3 for $30 or whatever, and get the stuff. But I am looking forward to that. It'll be November 6th to the 18th. But first we're going to LA. So I was thinking about, man, I haven't even started packing for New York, but I already have my bag semi-pack because I don't fully unpack it. But then I go, I can't pack for New York because I'm going to LA first. So I'm going to New York in 25 days, but I'm going to LA on Friday. So it's pretty fun right now. It's not going to forever be this way. So it's kind of cool that we get to do this right now. And I'm really having a good time with going with Rich to LA. I think it's really good for our relationship. because me going to New York was not great for our relationship. I mean, because I would get really set in my ways there and get in bad habits, like with alcohol, and then come home and just be, irritable and grumpy because I'm withdrawing from the alcohol and the sugar, and I'm just really not feeling good, staying in bed for several days when I get back. It's just, and then even when I start to, it takes me a while before I stop being kind of depressed and grumpy and moody. And so it's been kind of a whirlwind for our marriage, these New York trips, because we used to always go together to everything. But now, since I've been going by myself for that many days, I come back kind of really grumpy, because I do prefer to be with Richard every day than by myself. I mean, that's why I'm married. I don't like being by myself. People go like, oh, you want freedom, but I don't. I mean, you'll see me be happy because I'm just kind of trying to make the most of it. I'll go and try to do some touristy thing and and it does make me laugh because those things are just silly, and I'm usually a little intoxicated with alcohol, so everything's ugh. But day in and day out, I just want to come home, and I do love being in New York, but I'm just miss my husband, and I miss Annette and Gloria, and I really miss Casper, my buddy. So each day I'm there, it gets harder and harder, and so 12 days is very difficult. But I am glad I'm going one more time, just to kind of have, because it is kind of one of those things, it was a challenge, and it was a difficult thing I was doing, and now I'm not going to probably ever do it again, and not forever that long. Me and Rich will probably just go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so I'll probably never do one of these long trips again, away from Richard like this. So I think just having it be like my last final goodbye to New York, and my last kind of solo trip, and I'm happy that that's the case. So it'll be fun to just jump in our car and go to LA. I don't have to stress about it as much, and it's not as much planning. I mean, we have to plan way ahead, to get the hotel rooms. We already have the hotel rooms for this one, which we got immediately after I left New York, because the window of time is only 50 days. Well, you want to reserve your rooms as soon as possible, and other one was a 23-day window. So it's before I'm even barely back, we're planning the next trip. So it was just too cumbersome, how often. And I'm glad I got to do it. I don't regret it. But yes, it was November 2024 to November 2000. And I had gone before that, but that was kind of the significant time that you guys have been watching. And these trips that I've been doing, since I've been doing, I think, YouTube. Before, when I went in 2023, we weren't live streaming. I remember that. So it was kind of more significant once I started live streaming and then going to New York and telling you guys about it and stuff, and you guys kind of being a part of it. And then there was a lot of issues. I got doxxed at one time, but I've gotten smarter now. I don't share my hotel room at any level, which kind of sucks because I did enjoy kind of sharing, just showing the cool hotel layouts. The rooms are usually pretty small in Manhattan, so they're not these huge rooms. It's just more. Although I have had some big ones a couple times, which was just weird. It was just happened to me. It was affordable. The week I was there, we wouldn't pay a lot for a big room. It makes sense, but that's not the case this time. So it just really depends on the time of year. So this time of year is more expensive than other times of year. July is cheaper than November. So I'm in a smaller room. So I'll probably have to do the halal lamb for my meat, because I don't think I'm going to be cooking in the room on any level, in the sense of getting one of those little Foremans. There's no kitchenette, but just one of those. I for a couple of trips I've gotten those George Foremans, and we got that for LA too. But when the room is really small, the smell can be very intoxicating in the room, and also there's usually a smoke detector. And the window opens, but you worry if the room's too small, it's going to set off. And I don't like setting off, because some hotels that goes off, they don't even come to the room. They kind of hit the button and it'll eventually turn off. But fan the thing, with your. But some hotels, they come running up and think you're burning down the place, and then you say you're cooking, and then they're okay. And some places will be oh, absolutely not. But other places all right, well, try not to set off the alarm, and they carry on, but they just look at you like you're crazy. So it's just a little bit embarrassing, and then it smells like burgers in my room and stuff. So unless it has a bigger room, or I'm not gonna because some of those rooms are small, where it's just the bed and maybe like a desk and not even a chair necessarily. Oh, maybe a chair for the desk, but like not a comfortable chair, like a hard chair, not like any sort of like loungy chair, you know. So if you're wanting to sit for comfort, you just have to sit on the bed. There's no like place to sit down. Yeah, some of them you scurry around the room. So a lot of the rooms in Manhattan are these little dinky rooms because they're trying to maximize the space, you know. And you got to pay a lot for the bigger rooms. For me, I'm like, I don't care. I'm a small person. I kind of dig like small spaces. I kind of get off on like, as long as it has like drawers where I don't like if they have no place to put anything and it's tiny and you're like, well, stop stepping over your suitcase and stuff. But if it has like a place where you can maybe like a closet that opens, it might not even be a full closet, it might just be one of those standing closets, you know, or it's like a cupboard. It's like a bookshelf with doors. That's fine. Oh, I also like if you can hang things. I've stayed at hotels that they had no way to hang something. So that seems ridiculous to me. It had no sort of like closet. It just had dressers. But I'm like, I don't think I'm asking too much to have a way to hang something. like, okay. So everything had to go in the drawer. Which I guess if you traveled, you did have it in your suitcase. But usually you want to kind of like take it out and make sure things don't get all wrinkled. But whatever. But that's kind of something that you would like, a way to hang something. It's weird the things that you think are standard and are not. Like I always thought like a notepad and a pen. Oh no. I collect those at the places, but they're very rare. If they have them, I'm like, ooh, because they all say it, you know. And I only have a couple. They rarely have those anymore. What I'll say, a lot of times not any sort of cup, unless they have a coffee maker, which depends. I mean, I don't pay attention to coffee makers, so they're sometimes coffee makers, sometimes not, because I don't drink coffee. But fridges are very rare. Fridges are insanely rare these days. And what else? I mean, even half the things, you'd be lucky if you get. So now they do the dispensers, usually that that they reuse, but some hotels won't refill them. So you get in there and the thing's like almost gone. You're like, oh, that's great. You're getting so chintzy because they used to give you the little bottles, but everyone would take them, which you were allowed to, but that cost them money. So now they try to share. I went to put lotion in the bottle. Everyone's freaking out. I did just to make everyone mad. I don't know. I don't like their products. I have really good products. I bring my own of what I can bring and when I'm flying. When we go to LA, I just bring our own. They had it in the last one we were at. They had, but I don't like their products. I'm very picky. I like my Giovanni shampoo and conditioner. So I always bring my own. But some of them, when I try to use like their body wash, if I forget body wash or something, that's the one I usually forget. It'll be empty. So I use their shampoo. I'm like, it seems like it's the same difference. Their shampoo or their body wash with those little dispensers. I don't think they're that much different. Because the shampoo is not that like nourishing, you know. And neither is the body wash or the conditioner. Yeah, I'm more strict with what I like for my hair. Because my hair is very frizzy. So I kind of have to have a little better quality. And that's liking it too. She's using the Giovanni. She used to like that other brand. She was really stuck on it. But then Nexus is what she liked, I think it was called. But then she started one day using the Giovanni because we put it in another bathroom, and now she likes it. So she got off. You have to kind of sometimes, no, we didn't do it on purpose, but like Annette's very stubborn. And then you'll be like, Annette, you want to try this? Oh no, she wants to use but then she'll kind of slowly, then if she kind of discovers it herself, then now she wants that one, where she was very rigid before. I'd ask her which one she'd want, and she'd say the Nexus. I'm like, are you sure you want that one? You don't want to try this other one? And she's like, no. And now she's like, okay, I want to try you guys. I want the Giovanni. I don't know what she said. Richard was the one that told me. He said, Annette wants that one now. I said, oh, good. So it worked out because we already have it in there anyways. Because Richard takes baths in there all the time anyways. So I should take more baths, but we used to take baths all the time. It's actually a wonderful thing for in Vegas because it's so dry here. It's actually really good for your skin to lay in the bath. It's not just trying to be like, ooh, so luxurious. But it's very helpful for your hair and your skin in Vegas because it is dry here. But it always feels like, because the bathtub is the shared bathroom, So I always feel like someone is probably like holding their pee or something, or maybe in their poop, to not use the restroom, because we always tell Gloria and Annette that if we're in that bathroom, either knock or let us know and use the other one. But they won't have the time, so just just hold it. And so I always think when I'm in the bathtub, someone might be needing to use the restroom. So I don't feel like if it was in the other bathroom, I'd probably use it much more. But I always feel like, because they might need to use the restroom, and a bathtub, you're probably good 30 minutes to an hour in there, but at least 30 minutes probably make it worthwhile. I don't think I lasted. Richard can be in there like an hour. I'm about 30 minutes, but still the whole time I'm like, when do I need to use the restroom? Especially if I get in the bathtub before Gloria, maybe she was at the gym and then comes home, and I'm like, oh, she might need to use the restroom like as soon. You're like, you just got back from the gym, maybe use the restroom, and they all are waiting, holding it. We do have 2 restrooms, but they won't. So I'll sometimes see them looking like a little uncomfortable, like, do you use the restroom? Do you use the other one? Like if Richard's in the bath, because they won't say anything. That's why I know they do that, because I see them when Richard's in the bath, and I say, oh, go use the other restroom, and then I'll leave, because the other restroom doesn't have a door, because it's in our room. But I'll just say, I won't go in the room. You go use the restroom and stuff. I'll stay out here till you're done. And so, but she can just knock on the door. But I think they don't want to bother us. They're so sweet like that, where they think like they're gonna bother you with everything. Like I have to a lot of times make Annette get things at the store, because she doesn't want to like spend money. Doesn't want to. Because she knows that I work, and she's so conscientious of that. And she's very sweet, but I'm like, Annette, I want you to get that. Like, get the popcorn you want. She's like, oh no, get the popcorn you want. It's like little things like that. I'm like, get the steak you want. Like, get whatever you want. Get the orange juice you want. Whatever thing she wants. She likes her. Annette picks like the same thing. She loves. So funny. She loves steak, but then, which is fabulous. But then she likes a lot of things that are a little bit more sugary, like orange juice. And she loves these one bag of popcorn, which I forget the brand. It's in a yellow bag. It's not like where you put in the microwave popcorn. It's the one that's already popped, And then she loves sour cream and onion Lay's chips. And that's it. Like every single time I take her, I say, you can pick. I don't really take her anymore, but I say, you can pick any chip you want. Like, because we go down the chip aisle, anything you want. Every single time she will pick sour cream and onion Lay's chips. Every time. Like, she doesn't ever change it. And back when she would like eat Skittles, she would pick those red Skittles. I say, do you want to try another flavor they have? We'd give her the purple ones if they were out of the red. I say, which one do you prefer? And she'd say, the red. Like, I always go back to like, and so with the Diet Coke, we switched to the gold ones, which are the caffeine free, which the original ones she liked were the silver, the caffeine ones. And we're back to the silver ones, and those are the ones she wants. And like, and she does a little bit of instant coffee once in a while, but she doesn't overdo it. Because she's very aware what caffeine does now to her, where she didn't used to be aware. She's just down caffeine all day long. And that was making me go berserk. So, hi, Daddy, there you are. I like your shirt. She has an I Love New York shirt. Everyone has that stuff. Last time I went in one store that was one of those, like, I Love New York. And that's all I got was everybody, I Love New York. So everything I got was the one that were I Heart New York, I Heart NY, that really popular. So it's like everyone has a shirt. So, but Richard has a long sleeve and Gloria and Annette have short sleeve, and then Gloria has a hat and a bag, and I think there might even be. I think that's it, yeah. But so Richard has a long sleeve one, Annette has a short sleeve one that she wears, and Gloria has, so Annette has like a pink one, Richard has, I think, maybe green, I don't remember, black, and then Gloria has a yellow one, and then Gloria has this blue hat, but it's all that, I Heart NY. It's like that super cheesy thing that I don't know what year they decided to start doing that, but it's like such a significant thing, of that I Heart NY. We have a bunch of those, but then we also just have a lot of stuff that just says New York. New York, New York, New York. So I'm going one more time to get final New York souvenirs. It's probably good. I'm not going to keep going because we were just like bombarded with New York souvenirs. I mean, it's kind of getting crazy, and they're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive. They're actually cheaper to get there than if you were to try to order like a sweatshirt like that on Amazon, because I said they always have deals, and I'll go to the the souvenir shops that are going out of business, which they'll give like 60 to 70% off at some of them. And the one was 70% off this one trip, and that's when I got all kinds of like the silly things, like the stickers and stuff, the license plates and stuff. Because normally those things are like, we have like license plates that have our name, not mine. Mine said Joyce, and then they never had Gloria, and they didn't have Annette, so they have Richard. So Richard has two, but that was at the store that was going out of business. So because normally those things are like, I'm gonna pay like whatever, $7 to $10 for these silly little things, but when they're like 70% off, okay. But that stuff I won't get again, even if it was on sale, because you only need that stuff like once. But I will probably this trip get a couple more like just shirts and stuff, and maybe sweatshirts, maybe a sweatshirt for Richard. Gloria's got several sweatshirts. Annette probably needs a sweatshirt. A sweatshirt for Richard and Annette. Gloria's got like a bunch of New York. I've given Gloria a ton of New York sweatshirts. Yeah, she's got a bunch. Because she likes, so what'll happen is sometimes I bought some that I even wore partially. Some of them I got for her, but then some of them I had bought, and then I only wore them I wore them just to keep me warm there. So Gloria likes small, Annette doesn't like small. So Annette needs medium. Gloria likes small or medium. With sweatshirts, small is good. With shirts, she prefers medium with shirts. But with sweatshirts, small is good because sweatshirts can be really big. Small looks good on her. But she's got a bunch of New York sweatshirts. I think I'll get everyone. I'll get Gloria a medium and get everyone a New York sweatshirt. Because we're going into the colder weather. I think we have enough hats. Everybody's got a New York hat. But anywho, so I'm excited to go one more time. I know people think I'm probably excited because like, oh, I might get to drink. Not really. That actually just stresses me out. That actually makes me like daunting more than anything, because like, oh, I'm gonna challenge with alcohol. It's not like, oh, yippee, I'm going there to drink. No, actually, I'm day 25. I feel fabulous not drinking. The idea of drinking just sounds like, do I want to like literally drink like a Windex or something? I mean, that's what it is. And alcohol is a cleaning solvent. It's just a different, percentage. So drinking a cleaning thing will probably hurt you way more, but it is all alcohol in a sense, I mean, it's just varying levels. Like rubbing alcohol is alcohol too. I did know a lady, she was such an alcoholic that she drank like rubbing alcohol or something when like her husband had cut her off from alcohol. This is like when I was young. I remember the story. I was like, oh dear, that sounds terrible. Woof. Some people have to watch it with the mouthwashes have alcohol if you're not careful, and even like cold medicine. You have to get the non-alcohol one. There's certain things that there's alcohol if you're not careful. Like medicine can have alcohol and in the mouthwash and stuff. So if you're really, like when I don't do alcohol, I avoid it, all those things. I do the no alcohol mouthwash. I do the no alcohol if I have to do cold medicine, which I very rarely, that's not something I usually ever have to do. But I don't like taking that kind of stuff. I don't like medicine unless I'm really, really sick, like where I need antibiotics. But it pretty much has to be, I'll only really pretty much take medicine if I have to go to the hospital. Like if it's something where like you need that or it's going to get worse, like with antibiotics. Because I don't know. I usually just like my body to fight off things. Because you do get stronger and your immune system gets stronger. Then every time you take medicine, you kind of weaken your immune system. But I use weed as my medicine too. So I call weed my medicine. And people go like, oh, you guys spend all this money on weed, but we kind of associate it as like, if you had to spend money on medical stuff, like your co-pays or your medicine, if you have a prescription of some sort, that's kind of how we view our medicine. And I go, oh, you can get insurance for that. We just have to pay for your insurance, you know what I mean? So there's always a fee for something that you kind of view as, and I do view weed is medicinal to me because it's not a fun thing for me. Half the time after I do a bong hit, I'm like coughing where I'm like, don't talk to me, Richard, just please just leave me alone for a second, because I can't even breathe, I can't even think, I have to have everything quiet, and I'm like coughing for a second where I can't you can't catch your breath, and I go, this is terrible, this is awful, and then about a minute into it I go, oh, that's much better. But so it's not like this thing of like, whoop, yippee, it's just like, oh my gosh, yeah, let me do a bong hit, and then maybe in 5 minutes I'll feel better afterwards, but be like, oh, because weed can be very much more harsh thing. It's not like this, like, I don't know, I never saw it as like this super like fun yippee thing. Maybe edibles, but even then, edibles a little more, but we don't do those because they just have sugar. So we just smoke it. So for us, it actually just kind of helps me get out of my depression and makes me feel a lot more positive about life and actually have energy. Now at night, if I do certain, like there's certain weeds that give you energy and certain weeds that make you fall asleep. For me, it's usually opposite. It's weirdly like indica often gives me energy, but lately these days I have been doing some sativa and I've been getting energy, but certain sativas make me really tired. So it just depends on the strain. But the idea is you do sativa for energy and indica to go to sleep. And so it has great purposes of like you can kind of have more uplifting in the morning and then kind of help you go to sleep in the evening too. Because I do sometimes, well, in the past I used to struggle sleeping, not as much these days. But I realized a lot of my struggle with sleeping was when I did caffeine all the time. And I'd drink like coffee right before bed and then be like, because I drank tons of caffeine until 2018. I quit on my birthday 2018, March 24th, 2018. Last time I've had caffeine. But before that was the biggest coffeeaholic. Like, I mean, I like lived off of coffee. Like, how I live off of alcohol, I used to live off of caffeine. So I get addicted to things bad. I'm, what they call an addict. It's like if I can overdo something, I tend to. That's why I avoid a lot of things. A lot of people are like, oh, you never tried this? I was like, no, I just knew it was not going to go well. So I avoided, a lot of, hard drugs and stuff because I just knew the way I am that I was going to struggle with it if I tended to like it, So I just was like, why try it? You know what I mean? And I would say that went well for me, but I wouldn't say my life went perfect on any level because I didn't do well with my alcohol or the food. So I avoided some hard drugs, but then I kind of did almost the same thing with the alcohol and the food. So, where you end up just kind of with no money and really too focused on your addiction. But I do feel that I used to think that I had like insomnia or something, like I could, and then as soon as I quit drinking caffeine, I've had no trouble sleeping. In New York, I struggle a little bit, but I think that's more because I'm there for work and I kind of know I need to be awake. Whereas I could sleep if I wasn't there for work. I don't think if I really wanted to, but it's more like I'm here for work. Let me try to keep myself awake. But here, I go to sleep, no problem. But yeah, once I quit the caffeine, I slept like a baby. I slept too much. I slept for like a year straight, like where I just slept and slept. I was like, oh, this is ridiculous, how much I'm sleeping. Because I was always someone that didn't sleep that much. Crazy now, right? Till I quit caffeine. I was one of those, I had boundless energy, because I was always jacked up on caffeine or sugar. And then I quit caffeine and sugar. Oh, did I sleep. Oof. I mean, I remember when I first quit caffeine, it felt like everything in my body was like dead weights. Like everything just felt like so tiring. Caffeine is more impactful than you realize a lot of people I think realize in the sense that they don't fully acknowledge it, but they'll be like, oh, I need my caffeine in the morning. Yeah, because you do, because like without it, you're just like, I remember just feeling like everything was just like I was, picking up, 10,000 pounds every step, where I was always one like zipping around. And then that took several years before I kind of like started to bounce back. And then COVID happened, really. I mean, I was just kind of starting to bounce back, get my energy back. We were doing a bunch of videos and things. And then COVID happened, and then, I don't know, it's just been an interesting several, I guess the last 10 years really have been very, very interesting for me and Richard, but kind of ups and downs. But not really like kind of having like something that was so significant and not really like realizing, like thinking things were going to stay the same. Like the pandemic was very significant where we were pretty sad, just kind of doing our thing, and then all of a sudden it was like, woof, the carpet ripped out from under us in the rug, and it was like, whoa, like, it just made everyone think about a lot of stuff. So, it feels really good right now, but I get nervous now that I'm like, don't have that happen to us again, because right now things are starting to feel good with like it's been like 5 years, and they were saying 2025, and now we're almost going into 2026. So I hope things, but I know things are a little hectic with politics right now. I try to. Richard watches the news a little bit. I really try to stay away from the news because even though you feel like you're missing out on things, life seems a lot more positive when you don't know. Because like unless it's impacting your life, like a war somewhere else, as much as I'm sad about that, I'm not going to be the one to stop it. Guarantee it's not me. So me not knowing doesn't really affect me, like whether it's going or not going, or like the current status, or like, if there's people suffering. I'm like, I'd rather not know that because it kind of affects my daily life when I don't really need to know until it's something that impacts me. And I did go in the military. It's not that I'm like heartless and don't want to know. It's just there are people suffering every day. And if you bombard yourself with that, then you get very depressed. Because, life can be insanely depressing when you look at what a lot of people are going through. But you can't focus on that, otherwise you'll never get out of your funk. So you have to focus on the positive things in life and focus on what's positive in your life each day, and don't get yourself bombarded with because the problem with the news is everything they're focusing on is negative. I mean, once in a while they'll pop in a story that's usually an ad thrown in, where they're selling some product where they threw in there, but so-and-so's here to talk about this thing that's like an ad. But most of it's negativity of like things that, accidents that happen, death, tragedy, war, destruction, negativity in the politics, the government being shut down. I mean, I haven't been affected in one way by it. I know people are, but I haven't. I mean, I know prices are going up at the store. That's the only thing I'm seeing. But as far as the government shutdown, we haven't been affected in any way, in the sense of like nothing that we go do has been shut down. It's still functioning here. So I don't know where and what things are being shut down. I don't know if the DMV is working right now. I know I have my real ID, which I'm happy about, because I got that May 29th, I think it was, which my trip was like June 4th, I want to say, somewhere in there. And I could be wrong on that date, but something like that. And if I didn't get that real ID, I couldn't have traveled because I don't have a passport anymore. It expired. So I either need to get a passport or the real ID, because your regular driver's license ID doesn't work anymore. You have to get these ones called real IDs in order to fly domestically. And I happened to get this appointment. Like, they told me to keep trying, and I kept trying for several days. And even the next week we tried again. And the dates were all like in June or July, past the time of my trip. And I think that most of them were even in July too, and this was May. And then all of a sudden I get this one date. So I don't know what's going on if things do shut down and people have to travel. That is very unfortunate because these IDs are needed now. And so that stuff like that, I don't know if that's occurring, but I can see where that can go south real quick. And then I've heard, that the air traffic controllers and stuff, because Richard does put on the news, things like that are not good. But right now, if I wasn't watching the news, I wouldn't even know that stuff was occurring, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying like put yourself in a box and like, put blinders up, but you also got to monitor, like my mom always said, like negativity in, negativity out, like whatever you feed your mind is what you're going to come out. So more positivity. So if all day you're watching the news, that's all negative. It's all negativity, it's all tragedy, and it's going to make you sad. Yeah, they're going to show you, starving children, or people in pain or hurting or dying, or people that have no money, and I've been that person a lot of times, probably, I could have made better choices, but my parents made poor choices, so I didn't have a fabulous opportunity as a child, but, I haven't made the best choices as an adult, but I've made the choices that I've made. I don't regret them. I just, for financial choices have not been always the best. And there's nothing I fully regret, because it kind of it's the way life went. I try not to have regrets. Now there's things like you can say, well, I could have done that smoother, but then you don't know how everything else would have gone. So it's life went the way it went. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't do it exactly the same if I had, what they said, let's repeat your life. I'd take a little smoother path. But I am glad that I went the way I went, because I kind of a little bit get off on that my life was hard. Like the challenge. The most significant things that I remember are the most challenging things in my life. the things that were easy, I don't remember at all. I mean, like, I don't remember years on end if it was easy, you know what I mean? But the challenging times I remember the most. And those are the things that, like, I feel proud of. Even if there's embarrassing moments during those things, if that makes sense. Like, there's some things that I did that are embarrassing, but how I either recovered from that or even why I did it was never for a bad reason. I never, even like, okay, there's some things, mistakes I made in the sense of like yelling at people and stuff, but I just got my feelings hurt and just lashed out, and I didn't realize the anger I had inside me. And then I now have gotten that in check, but I've never tried to like go out and intentionally like hurt others. This is not something, so I don't really have like, but there are times I have hurt others, if that makes sense, especially when I drank or when I just lashed out. So there's like regrets for like hurting others, but then there's like the not regret of like learning from that. Does that make sense? Of like, well, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have learned from it. You know, maybe I would have just kept that inside forever and been hateful on the inside and not kind of let it out. So that's why I say where it's like, regret isn't the best word, but more like, yeah, I could have picked a smoother path, but I learned more from this bumpy path, if that makes sense. So I do feel really strong right now at 40. Like, and even if I end up, you know, messing up again, like even if in this next trip, even if I mess up in 25 days, I just feel like each time I come back stronger. And I can literally see my New York trips. Like, I looked like so young when I went in 2023, and that was not that long ago. And now I've like matured so much, and I've been on some up and downs in New York, and I've been through some emotional like wackiness and embarrassing things, and you know, falling on my ass when I'm drunk, and it made a fool of myself in front of clients and online, and Richard and Gordon and that, you know, and a couple of those trips when I came back. The neighbors, I mean, but I could have said, well, I could have just had the whole year and none of that happened, and I just sat inside and just, you know, kept to myself. So that's why I say it's no regrets. Yeah, there's those things that you go, oh, yeah, it'd be awesome if I hadn't embarrassed myself in front of the neighbors, you know, when I'm drunk. And this was several years ago. But still, you know, you think about when you see your neighbors, things like that. When I'm, you know, running around drunk and they see me, you know, and I wasn't like naked or anything. I was just like, you know, being drunk, running the street, like, here's my flannel pajama. But, you know, and your neighbor's like staring at you, and you just look like a nuisance in the neighborhood. Just dumb stuff like that. But it did help me grow, and I feel like I'm a lot more put together person than I was in 2022 when we kind of first got here. And 2023, 2024 was kind of when we, you know, I don't remember when we exactly started the blog, if it was 2024. I feel like me and Richard have matured a lot, and we're not all the way there. We get that. We're still very mature, and people laugh at me for ridiculous things I wear, but that keeps me young at heart. And it also just makes me feel better. Like, okay, all day I just wear the frumpiest things. I'm like the frumpiest dresser. Like, it's bad. Like, my husband's like, you know, you could wear something a little bit cuter. Like, he only sees me look cute when I'm like going to work or like doing a blog, because otherwise I'm like, nah, I don't really like being in like super cute clothes. So I tend to wear like my frumpies around the house. You know, wear my pajamas all the time. And they're cute enough. I mean, they're not ugly pajamas, but I wouldn't call them that sexy. But I just like it that way. And so it's good for me to do things like a blog or get ready for work and stuff, because for my psyche, like and then when I do my hair like this, it's just good because I'll just always brush my hair and put my headband on, you know. So it's good for me. It kind of lifts my spirit a little bit. Like, and the sillier the outfit, the more like it makes me and Rich laugh. Like, I was gonna wear these their weed socks that they have, their knee-high weed socks, but I didn't feel like wearing the high socks because they're a little itchy out here. When it gets a little colder, I think I'm gonna wear the high socks because it's fun. But it felt like better to not wear socks today, and I wanted to wear my flip-flops. I can't wear the flip-flops to the socks. I like the flip-flops better. They actually have a little more support, because those ones, they have the high heel in the back, but on the front, they're not, a lot of support, and I have bad feet, and on the front I need like all that cushion. I don't know if you guys know, that's why I wear these. It's not that I love wearing high heels. I mean, I'm used to it now. Hold on. My mouth is so dry. I'm just sitting out here yapping all this time. Sorry for your ears. So, I used to not be able to wear heels at all. I used to only wear flat flip-flops. That's what I wore always. And even for work, I would wear like maybe a little tiny boost. I remember for work, I used to first wear Crocs. Do you guys have Crocs? Yeah, that's not. But they have Crocs heels, which is like a little bit of a like stump basically, and they're plastic jellies basically. It's like wearing jellies. I'd wear jellies to work basically jellies. Cause not the Crocs, not the big old ones with the handle on top, not that. No, get out of here. I did wear that in Panama when I broke my foot. Yeah, but those ones didn't have a handle, but they were the same kind of design like that. But you didn't put your foot in it. You slid your foot in, so it was more like a this over the top thing. Richard wore those ones where you put your foot in. You got I call it a handle, but it was the back strap, or you can fold it in the front. But anyways, ugliest things. But when I broke my foot, I was like, forget it. I'm wearing that to work. Sorry. But I couldn't wear heels. And I remember I got this pair of heels. I bought them at the mall because I used to shop at the mall before online existed of like to the level it does now. You know, so we go to the mall and I have no idea how to shop for heels. And I get these heels at I think it was called like Chinese Laundry or something in the store. Terrible heels. But and then me and Richard go to Bebe, which it was still exists in the mall then. And I get this dress because it was Richard's birthday and we were going to go see Rock of Ages at the Venetian. This is like 2014. Okay, it's like we got to Vegas November 2013, so this was basically our first year in Vegas, and we got married January 2014, so January 1st 2014, so we just got married, and it's Richard's birthday's March 26th, and mine's March 24th. Our birthday's only one day in between, can you believe that? So, we're married, we have a birthday only one day in between each other's birthday. So I get these shoes and I get this sequin dress. Oh, and I never dress up, okay? And I'm always wearing like flats, like Crocs. And I decide I'm gonna dress up and wear this to the casino for Richard's birthday. The worst outfit I've ever worn in my whole life. The most uncomfortable. The shoes were these ones. Now I could wear them, but they were these huge heels. I don't know what I was thinking. And they had a strap and a thing in the front, but then not like a stiletto heel, but like a pretty, like a chunk heel, but not like a wedge heel. You know, like fabulous shoes now. I wish I still had them. I could totally sport them now. I couldn't walk in these things at all. Okay. And then the sequin dress was so uncomfortable because the sequins just rubbed on your skin. I don't know if anyone else has an issue with sequins. That's when I discovered I did. So we go to the show and I'm just like, just in the worst mood, if you can imagine. Me in a bad mood. And in 2014. Because my feet hurt whether I take the shoes off or not. Like now they just hurt. You know, I've taken the shoes off because we're like, just take them off because we're sitting now and I'm just still hurt. We're sitting and I'm still in pain. So he says, take the shoes off. And it doesn't help. I said, fine. So I take the shoes off and it helped just a smidge. But I go, I'm not going to get the darn things back on because my feet are like swollen at this point. So now they want you like standing up and so, oh dear. So I put the shoes back on. You know, it was one of the little concerts. And I'm like, oh. And I just look ridiculous. We're supposed to take photos. They're the worst photos ever. There we have them. And that was like my first thing with wearing heels. And then I slowly kind of like was like, well, those heels were bad, but let me kind of get myself used. So I started with these little bit lower ones. And now I can wear like the highest heels. I don't know. That doesn't bother me. But the reason why I wear heels now, and I can wear like a platform or heels. And it's helpful if it has a big like platform thing in the front. Because my feet are terrible. Absolutely terrible. And this thing right here, I have this thing, I think they call it a bunion on my feet back right now. Oof, I'll scrub them in the morning. This is a bunion, I believe it's called. It causes these things on my bottom of my feet that feels like you're walking on nails because they come right through your feet. And all I can do to get sometimes a relief is I have to toenail clippers and like cut them out, but then you end up like start bleeding because you go too far and you're like, oh, and then it hurts again. And you're like, oh, but you're like walking on nails. So the platform shoes help because it hurts always. I mean, it's always. And then I got the foot. This is the foot that was broken, and then it's all kinds of mess. But somehow I'm able to walk long distances and even run. I'd probably need like a little bit of a platform if I ran again, because I can't have like flat shoes. Oh, and like flat-footed shoes, forget about it. They have to have like an arch for me. Like the ones like Annette has like where it's the full platform. I can do the wedge shoes because it has my foot going up, you know, and the heel wedge. I love the wedges. Those, I walk miles in those. I walked like, last trip I walked like 25 blocks in my wedge heels, but my ankles did get swollen because they only have a tiny strap that goes around the ankles, and then I realized my ankles were swollen like the rest of the trip. But I did walk 25 blocks in Manhattan in them shoes because I decided not to do an Uber. Because my clients will pay for the Uber, but sometimes I don't feel like asking for it. I always want an Uber there, but I don't feel like asking for Uber home. I just want to go back to my hotel, and I call it home hotel. But I was like 25 blocks, and I was like, I can do it. It was morning. It was early morning, and I was like, yeah, it'll be nice. But yeah, by the time I got to the hotel, I was like, oh, that was a little further than I really had wanted to walk. And I think that was the time, too, I had to go to the bathroom when I finally got to the hotel. I was like, oh, dear. Because I walked that far. But I don't mind if it's a wedge, or now I have those sneakers. But the problem with those sneakers, they're not a whole lot of support in the front. I need a sneaker that has the like heel lift and like the platform, not just like flat all the way. The lift. Otherwise my feet just hurt. Oh, they hurt. Richard rubs my feet a lot, like a lot. Not every day, but a lot. So like when I go to New York, like my feet start to really hurt because I realize, oh, he rubs them a lot. And I can rub them a little bit myself, but like it's different, and also it hurts so bad that I kind of like need him to do it, because sometimes like it hurts so bad that I'll be like, nah, stop, and then he'll be like, just a little more. I don't know if you have that kind of, if you ever had that intense of a massage where you have to have another person do it because you can't, like, it's not like super painful. It's that like, you know, like hurts so good, but it's like that level of pain is hard to give to yourself, but like someone giving you the massage could do it, and they know when to kind of stop it, like, okay, now you've had enough. But like he'll do that for me, where with me I'll be like, oh, I can't rub my foot, I'll just stop, you know, he'll be like, no. And it's great because he'll just go just a smidge longer, and that you need where a little bit past that you think that you need for the pain, because, you know, we're kind of wusses and we're like, oh, that's enough, because we always can go a little bit more than we think for pain, or even working out or whatever it is, you know, work in general, you know, where oh, that's all I can do. You usually do a little more, you know. We rarely giving our 100%. People with this concept is 110%. Well, I mean, really, it's 100%. I mean, getting extra credit, but if you got 110%, why we go 9,000% then? You know, I mean, it's like, where does it end? Because 100 is you give it 100%, and that's good. I'm good if you give it 100%. If you give it 100%, I'm good. I don't need your 100%. You give it 100. Fabulous. So, this new thing. Give it 150%. Fabulous. Are we working on tomorrow's? I was one of those extra credit kids, so I get to getting it every time. Oh, what is that? That looks like a mosquito bite. Because it's actually itching. That's a mosquito bite. It's that time of year, huh? We get the mosquitoes. Because what happens is you start opening the windows, and then the mosquitoes come in. You know, it's like, open the door and the flies come in. Close the door and it's hot again. I've ever heard that. My mom used to say that when I was a kid. My mom had a lot of these like things that she used to do the, what you got cooking, hey, good looking, what you got cooking. I didn't know for a long time that was like a real song. I was like, is it like Hank Williams or something like that? I thought that was just one of those like, I don't know, silly songs that like a kid's song or something. It's funny, a lot of these songs that like my mom would quote when I was a kid, I didn't realize they were like actual songs. I thought it was like, I don't know, little silly phrases or something that you just kind of sing-songy. And as you get older, you'll hear them. Even Gloria recently, she listens to all like music all day, which is fabulous because we gave her the karaoke speaker, and that wasn't even using that, and it works for a fabulous speaker in the living room. And actually, it projects really well. Gloria loves it. She plays it all day. Even if she's watching TV, she'll have her music on. She'll have both. She'll watch her TV and have her music on. But a lot of times she's just scrolling through things. But she'll get stuck on things for the longest time. So she'll watch just like a 1 minute or 30-second thing of a song. But it'll keep going over and over. But she does a lot of like, when I was a kid, we listened to oldies channel. And so like I'm hearing a lot of those older songs. Because a lot of times she listens to Latin, which I like the Latin music, because we lived in Panama, so I really like that. I was actually listening to Chino and Nacho on the way home the other day from work. I don't know if you guys know them, but they're a Latin group. We loved them when we were in Panama. They were always showing we watched these two channels. One was called 23 and one was called HTV. I don't remember what the H stood for. Probably high definition TV or something. But they were both music channels. And where they just played music. Like, not like MTV or VH1, where you got, like, music and then it goes show, and then, maybe let's do music again at midnight. No, this was all music is what me and Rich like. We like music videos. I don't know if you guys know that. We just kind of more recently got into watching more shows or movies. We used to just watch music videos. For many years, it was, like, all music videos. Barely TV, because we didn't... Well, the TV in Panama only played Spanish. You didn't have a remote that could change it. Maybe now you can. This is in 2012 to 2013, and we were at hotels that didn't have the best technology. It wasn't like, this was the up and coming hotel. It's more like they have the standard basics. You get a nightstand, a desk, a TV that's way up there. We had one room in Panama. This is crazy. This one I kept saying they put us in a closet. I felt like it was this little tiny place. I believe it was called Costa Azul, which means blue house. And it was just an old school little hotel. And your room was tiny. Your room was like a Manhattan size room. Like one of those big ones. And this one was felt like we were in a closet because it was like the room right next to the stairwell and right next to their literally cleaning pantry closet thing. And I felt like they just kind of added a little wall and made our room because it looked like it could be a utility room. Because get this, what happened. So it's a little looks like it could be a utility room. And then there's this tiny bathroom that could just easily popped in I think it was this crappy little shower and maybe a crappy little bath, I don't remember, and one of those sinks with no counter, just the sink just popped in there and the toilet just popped there. So, and then, which that almost was like a closet size, almost I don't even know, it's hard. The bathroom was almost had been a closet, and then this was and then there was one outlet in the entire room or bathroom, and it was way up high where the TV is. And that's where there was this tiniest TV, this big, way up there on this little TV stand that's holding the TV. The only outlet in the entire room. We looked, none in the bathroom, none behind the bed or the desk or whatever it was, a nightstand or whatever. No other outlet in the entire room. So we're like, oh, that's convenient. I mean, because we had to charge things. And I also, at this point, still blow dried and straightened my hair. So we're like, this is how we're going to do it. So I guess what we did, we had to, and there's no furniture in there to really stack. Okay, there was a nightstand. So Dad, of course, moved over there. The nightstand went over there. And then we had 2 suitcases. Those popped on there. And then we had some bags. And those popped on there. And then we would have the cords hang. So for the iPad, we had an iPad. And for your phone, so you could get it to the one cord. So you take turns, what thing if you want to watch TV or charge your phone or something. And then if I had to do my hair, I had to stand on a chair. And and something else too, I think. Stand on a chair and a suitcase. And then stand up there. So I just don't feel like this was originally a hotel room. I think you guys made this from something else. Like there's a utility room and a closet, and then there's one outlet up there. So the room was tiny, but it was a cute little place. But what was cool is there was a family that lived below that had a restaurant, but that's where they lived, and they were very poor, but they were very nice, and they were a Panamanian family, and they cooked the food, which was fabulous food, because it was all homemade, and it was, they treated it professionally. It wasn't all like you're eating, their dirty bowls. They treated it like a restaurant, and they even had, I think, containers and everything, but you were walking into their house, and the kids would be there, and then you go up, and they had like a counter, and you paid, and they had a register and stuff. But you would walk right into their house, and hey, hi everybody, and hola, you're speaking Spanish, and then you go up and you ordered, and you got they gave you one of those, styrofoam, containers, and then you would go upstairs, and fabulous food with, there's a lot of like rice and beans they do there, and chicken and like carne asada. But a cute little place, and you could buy, they would have little like waters, you could buy down there, or sodas or whatever. So it was really cute. We would buy the food down at that little place. So it was really cool there, because they had a lot of places like that where you're really supporting like the mom and pop shops. I hope that still exists in Panama. It probably does. It takes a while for them to change. It's very behind. It's usually a good 50 to 100 years behind America of just the stuff they do. I doubt they have tap to pay. Oh, I would be shocked if they had any sort of like tap to pay there. They go nuts if you use a $100 bill. I mean, the whole thing shuts down. You might as well just bought one of those $1,000 bills they used to have. Because listen to this. They have the manager come. So the lines are always very busy at the stores because there's no self-checkout. Oh, forget about that. That's probably never going to happen. They would never trust the people do a self-checkout. They'd be like, no way. They're very, very strict with security there. Like, you use one cart to shop, you have to unload that cart, then you get a brand new cart. So there's no not paying for things in your cart kind of stuff that people do. And then these shenanigans are riding out with your cart. No. That cart does not leave the store. You get a new cart that has a guy bagging it, and he's going to walk it out with you. So it's like no theft occurs there. With the grocery stores, at least, they got it pretty good. They're much smarter there with, they're like, no, we don't trust you guys to pay for your own stuff and then take your own card out the store, and you might even just forget to bring something up, like one of them sodas or waters, it might not be intentional, but you might forget, so they're very strict there. But which is super smart, because their country is very poor, so most of the people only make like $600 a month no matter what they're doing, whether they're a teacher. Doctors might make around that too, because it only costs $5 to see the doctor, whether you live there or not. Like when you're a tourist, it's $5. No, you go to the doctor. You just have to wait. I mean, it's a long wait, but it's $5. And then you have to pay for your medicine, but it's not super expensive. And you have to give it to yourself. They don't tell you how. Like, they give you a needle and the thing, which we'd never done medicine like that, where the little thing that you have to put it in. And I put it in Richard's butt. It was the antibiotics. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm skilled in doing this. No directions, and it was Spanish, so if there were directions, but I don't think there were anyways. People just seem to know. But anyways, but there, yeah, it's a lot, certain things you're kind of like free for all, but other things are very strict about. And their military there has like serious guns, so, and they're everywhere. Their military is like their police. It's kind of the same. Their police, their military, kind of the same. But anyways, what I was gonna say about you get a $100 bill. So if they're only making $600 a month, if you come with a $100 bill, they will take that out of the cashier's money if she gets a fake $100 bill. So that's a sixth of her pay. So they take it insanely serious. And we didn't realize how difficult it would be, because you think it's better to travel with hundreds. We didn't travel with a ton, but we brought some from Vegas. But if we would have known, we should have brought only 20s. Because it's actually insanely hard to cash out a $100 bill there. like it's so hard, and the only place is the grocery store. But so you have all these people in line, no self checkout, and there's several lines, but there's like a lot of people in line. It's always busy there. And now it's like brakes. Oh dear, everyone's like, and everyone's like rolling their eyes, and you can't speak the language. You're like, oh, and now they have to call the manager, which takes forever. Then the manager comes over, and it's all in a foreign language. So the first time you don't really know what's going on. Then they bring out this big book. The manager writes down all the detail of the actual. The money, so the serial number of the money, and your passport, writes down the numbers of your passport and your name and da. And then they verify it's real, and then the manager signs it, and she also like marks on the money with her like initials or something like that. And then after all this occurs, which takes forever because the manager doesn't do it quickly either, it takes forever because she wants to make sure that you are 100% giving her a real $100 bill, because they don't have like little scanners either, so it's just the manager verifying. So, and they do get fake money in Panama. It does happen there because they're bringing in stuff over the canal, and there's a whole movie about it that they the fake money that going through Panama with Mark Wahlberg. But you just feel so bad, and then everyone's like staring at you, and then they're usually really upset because they have to give you now a lot of money from their drawer, which they don't carry a lot of cash in their drawers because people don't use $100 bills ever there. You know what I mean? Like those we only had when we brought them from Vegas, and we're like, next time we're not gonna bring money. Let's just get it out. But the problem is, the ATMs there have fees, so we thought let's bring some cash so we don't have to have the fees when we first get there. But that was a bad idea because we brought hundreds, and if you ever do go, bring 20s, and you can only travel with X amount of money. Country's different, but I think with America you can't. It's like 10,000 or so much. We've never had anything like that. Nope, don't worry about that. It's more like 1,000, if at most. If that. We're lucky. That'd be on a good day. So, but yeah, it shuts down everything, and then everyone's all mad, and they try to get in the other lines, but all the lines are long, growling at you in other languages. Los Angeles. But there's certain things you just don't realize until you go to a certain country that it's so significant. And then you feel like a chump that you didn't know that because everyone else there did. But like, so sorry, we don't do that in America or something. And then it is interesting because there are certain things that you go, I could see how that makes sense, but we don't do it that way. But I can see where I shouldn't have been confused, but I'm used to it this other way kind of thing. There's certain things. So during the pandemic, they were really strict we were there during the pandemic, the second time we went to Panama, and they were super strict about masks, and you had to take the temperature every time you went in somewhere, and I think you had to do the hand sanitizer, and I don't remember what else. I think you even had to sign something or something. So if you didn't really know and you tried to like walk in the store, people were like, excuse me, and then you're like, oh, that's what that line's about. This is like long line, but you don't know what anyone's sitting in line for. So like, oh, maybe they're trying to cash their checks or something. And then everyone's like, foreign language, and you're like, and then the guy's going nuts, is taking the temperature, and like, and you're like, okay. I had to stand in that line. Fabulous. Hour later, like, okay, here I am. It's like crazy. But when you don't speak the language, people might be yelling at you, and you have no idea. So I didn't know they kept trying to ask me if I wanted to use a reusable bag, because I guess they got those there. That's a up and coming thing. But I didn't know that's what they were asking in the beginning, because I was like, I don't know what you're asking. Cash? Good, I'm using cash. I get that, dinero. And they kept asking someone else, like, because they'll ask you too, what form of payment you're using. You have to tell them in the beginning. What if I want to change it? Nah, you already spoke. I just spoke it into existence. No, they make you decide in the beginning. Like, I kind of wanted to see what the price was going to be, but all right. And I don't even think you can do credit. I guess, cash or debit. But they ask that, and then they ask if you want a reusable bag, and that's when they lost me. I was like, and the other thing was I didn't know that you couldn't push the cart. So that was the first time I went. This was the second trip, because I guess, I don't know, the first time we went, that wasn't the scenario. They must have changed it. But I had the cart and I'd unloaded, and then I just thought that I'd push my cart through the aisle like you do in America. Oh! I mean, everyone was yelling at me, and I was... inching it forward, and every time it was like, felt like I was getting barked at, and I was like... Because, like, I would do the person in front of me was my phone, I'm inching it. What am I doing wrong? And finally, they send the bagger guy, the courtesy clerk, whatever they're called, around. And he's like, no. Takes the cart from me, makes everyone move. Because I've been like in the aisle now. Pushes everyone out of the way. Pulls the cart out, like pushes where it's supposed to go, like on the side over here by the aisles. And then he's like, points to the cart at the end there that he's, and like, yeah, we use that one. Comprende. Lo siento. But it's a different cart at the end. I was like, I feel like that cart's too small at the end, because it's one of those that's like a stackable cart. Like it's like, you just have like, there's only 2 levels. So you have this pretty large cart. They're not as big as the carts in America because they don't buy nearly as much stuff. But it's more like a one where it's like, you guys remember when you were kids, if you're older like me, where they used to have the carts that had the top, but not the full cart. Where it was like a half thing that was just the top, and then below you would put your waters and sodas or whatever, your big items. But the top is very small, only about this big. Not this large cart like that. In Panama, they don't expect you to buy that kind of stuff. Like, what are you doing? So it's these carts like this. And then, but it seems like there's more in here, than in this next cart that's even smaller. Now, this one's only about like yay wide over here, and it has just 2 levels. So they'll put the bags and the things, and I go, well, how many of those we're going to have to do to just have what I had in this cart? Whatever, you guys think. But yeah, so they'll get 2 guys if you have more stuff, then they get irritated with that. So they don't expect you to buy that stuff. You fat Americans, they think, buying too much stuff. Because they want to just have it go from transfer that cart to the other cart. And it's a great anti-theft thing. Because at first I was like, why are they doing this? This seems like a lot of unnecessary work, and that cart's not as good. But then I was like, oh, that makes sense for theft. Because you're now not taking the cart that you would shop with, and it's now going into the hands of the cashier and the courtesy clerk, where I guess that they're closing a lot of these self-checkouts because they're finding that certain stores are experiencing more theft than like certain areas and stuff. So I think certain areas they'll leave them open, because certain places you really need them because of the efficiency of them. And so they're actually, able to sell more product. Whereas if you're waiting in line, people will get out of line. I've done that so many times. So before Albertsons had the self-checkout, so Smith's got it first, I would get out of line because I'd be like, no, this is ridiculous. And they used to have the sign, 3's a crowd. And I was like, well, you don't pay attention to your sign because there's like 20 of us in this line here. It says 3's a crowd. They used to have to say, I don't either. But then they got the self-checkout, and then they actually have a pretty good self-checkout at Albertsons. Smith's is a lot more funky, where it just gets set off every 2 seconds, and you're like, this is not even that more efficient than the cashiers. If you have to have the guy come over, and you got to wait, because there's only maybe 2 people for however many machines, and some places only 1. So now you got to wait as every machine is like lit up, and you're like, oh dear, and there's a line of everybody waiting because the machine's set off. So it's one of those things is they're hit and miss. But in New York, they're really good, but they don't do cash, which probably makes it a lot more efficient. So the ones I think that have cash are the ones that jam probably more, because the cash gets stuck or it runs out of cash. So the ones like in New York, most of the self-checkout, you have to use, digital payment or a card, like at the Whole Foods. But for me, I get irritated because sometimes I want to use cash and do the self-checkout because I'm like, oh, I have to wait in the long line because I want to use cash. Even in New York, that happens at the Whole Foods. But they're pretty efficient there because they have a lot of tellers. So I often will, but I only sometimes have cash when I go there. So I like having cash because if you ever buy something on the corner, oh, they hate if you use digital. Like at those halal stands, they hate digital or cards. They're always like, oh. They always do exactly what you do, because you go, what form of payment do you have? And I go, sorry, I have a card. And they go, oh, is that all you have? And I go, yeah, I'm sorry. I know you want cash. And I go, oh, that's really all you have, and so every single time, and so I'm like, but it's a pain because it's just, I don't know, always, it's a pain to go to the bank to always get cash, Like, we don't use cash that often anymore, Even with my job, I get paid with digital too, so it's just like, cash is just becoming almost obsolete. They're trying to get rid of it more and more in New York because it's dirty, and like during the pandemic, they found that it was healthier to not have cash. So a lot of places were not accepting cash, which was crazy. Because you're like, you don't accept cash? Now we're getting more used to it. Like, yeah, we don't accept cash. It's like, hotels, that's been the way for a while, and that's primarily because of their staff stealing. So for a while, if it was a small hotel, people could get away with maybe booking a room for a night and never putting it on the books and just taking the cash. And that was, like maybe if, the manager's not there that night or something, or, whatever, maybe the manager's in on it. So now they're pretty strict at most hotels. Some let you still do a deposit of cash, which I like if they do that, because then I like to physically get my deposit back so you got it back. But lately I've had a pretty good experience, knock on wood, of getting my deposits back. When we stayed there during the pandemic, it was terrible. Like, people would not. You'd call and call and call, and eventually you just give up. And like, fine, keep my deposit. I'm over trying to get my $150 or $300 back. Fine. Because you'd call, Richard will call those things like a million times too. Because they'll say, oh, you got to call back again. And he'd be like, I just called. I'm calling again when you told me to call. Some of these little hotels were a little shiesty they weren't really trying to give the deposits back. They would hope that someone would give up, But Richard was very diligent about trying to get our deposits when we lived in Manhattan. Eventually, we would have to give up. Forget it. I need to get some water. I have another water bottle. Oh my God, my song's on, you guys. We didn't start the fire. I used to know all of the lyrics to this without looking, but that was a long time ago. Now I can do probably the first two verses without looking. Harry Truman, Doris Day, that thing. Oh, I should do it. Let me start over. You guys don't have to be punished. Let's see how I used to know the whole thing. It won't be long, and I'm not gonna sing. It's just kind of just that one part. Let's see how much. I think I can get to the first two verses, but it's been a long time. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. I might not be able to get any without. It's been a long time. I used to sing this whole song. I just I get off on, I'm not a good singer. I like singing things that are where it's kind of almost like a rap, where it's difficult to kind of, because I can't hit high pitches. Forget about it. Okay, here we go. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Tudor Baker, Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe. Rosenberg, H-Bomb, Sugar Ray, Penwood, John Brando, The King and I, and The Catcher in the Rye, Eisenhower's vaccine, England's got a new queen, Marciana Liberace said Diana goodbye. That's good now. So I used to know the whole song, and I could do it without looking, but those days are behind me. I just wanted the Communist bloc, Roy Coyne, Rossman, yeah, I'm already listening. Rock around the clock, Einstein, James Dean, Bookin's got a winning team, David Crockett, Peter Pan, Elvis Presley, Dixieland, Pardo, Budapest, Alabama, Khrushchev, Prince of Grace, Peyton Place, Satan in the Suez, Trouble in the Suez. All right, I'm done with that. Anyways, Richard was singing last night. I need to sing again because I can't sing, but that's the fun of it is, and it does help me. I do get better. I don't get great, but I get better. But now I haven't sang in years, so I'm terrible. And I usually am always terrible, but just a little bit better than terrible if I sing regularly. But I have this weird thing where I don't want to sing, but then once I start singing, oh gosh, you can't get me to stop singing. I'm like, But to go sing him, I was like, nah. So Richard was singing him. He has his little studio. He can close the door now, and he's kind of like, actually, the sound keeps in there pretty good. So he was doing his little singing. Because it doesn't have the music. It's just his voice because he's got the headphones on. But it's kind of fun. We all like listening to him play or sing, and I think people like listening to him sing more than me. Mine is rough. So my voice was never good, even before I had an eating disorder. Like, I was never a singer. I never took choir or anything like that. Oh, imagine that, right? Mm-hmm. But I did go to a Christian school that every Christmas you were required to sing all of these songs for the Christmas play. Every year, from kindergarten to 8th grade. And I remember always asking my dad if I sounded good. And he was like, well, we can hear you. He said, you're very loud. But he never really answered the questions. And I never got a singing part. So it made me realize at some point I didn't have a good voice. Like, it was just like, I just don't think that's something I have. I learned that before 8th grade, because you would try out for the play, and I never get a singing part. I barely get a talking part. Oh, Joy's got like 5 lines. Thank you. So I realized an actress wasn't really my thing either. Like, some people I think maybe did better as children and those things. So they really like my friend Sierra, who went to the Christian school. She got so into it. She's probably still doing some sort of drama thing somewhere. She got a bunch of kids now though, so I don't know. But she was so into like theater and choir and stuff in high school. Nah, not me. I didn't do either of those things. I didn't do theater or choir or band. Shocking, since I'm just so musically talented now. So Richard was wanting me to get some music lessons from this guy, and I think he was just like, sorry, I can't fix that. I'm out. Try someone else. But I'm like, a little bit saying you're not the best instructor then, because you should be, no matter how bad I am, you should be able to fix me. I think he's like, your age is you're too far. Maybe if you were 30 years younger. Okay, maybe when you were 10, not 40. Next, please. So I wanted to go in the sense of like, it would be a fun experience, but I didn't want to go in the sense of like, I don't want to embarrass myself, so I'm good. Like, I'm very aware I'm not a good singer. I think people think that I think I'm a good singer. I'm like, no. That's why it's funny. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, especially some of them Richard posts. Because the ones I post are like ones where I'm like, it's usually like the rap ones, and I'm like, whatever. It's not great, but whatever. It's not having to like, but some of the ones that Richard has me sing, and then he decides to, kind of put the music together, but I'm like, really? Like, I never say no, because I'm always like, you know what, it is what it is. Like, let me be the worst and let people have like something to be like, at least I'm not as bad a singer as Joy, so you could feel comfortable to sing. But sometimes I'm like, I can't believe that's out there for people, because like me, I can't even finish the videos, and I'm like, Richard, I'm done. He's like, watch this then. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Do I have to? I mean, is this Chinese torture you're trying to do here? Because I heard it when I did it, and I thought it sounded a little different, but I never knew it. I always didn't think it sounded great, but that's even worse than I thought. I don't know if you know that when you sing, you think it sounds a little better. I'm pretty aware it doesn't sound great, because I'm fully aware I don't hit like 95% of the notes. But you think it's just a little better, and then when you hear it back, you're like, oh. Most singers probably critique their singing a lot, even when they're a really good singer. But if you're a bad singer, it's even worse. Like, you go, oh, I thought it sounded just a smidge better than that. No, absolutely not. It's actually insanely worse than you thought. Yeah, I can see that now. So please stop the video. I'm good. Just drop water on my head. It would be much better. Just little droplets. I'm good. Earlier, Richard was cutting a nut steak, and I was in the other room, and it was like, how some plates have that like nails on the chalkboard with the knife and fork, and I was like, how are they in the kitchen and next to that, the two of them, where I had to like close my door, and I was like, I still hear it. Turn on some music. But certain things, like I can't stand the windshield wiper squeak. Oh, Richard, I'm trying to do this thing of not critique his driving, but sometimes I'm like, I won't say anything. I'm just like, come on, can't we with the wipers? You know, come on. Can we turn them off now? There's no rain anymore. The squeak I can't do anymore. He's like, oh, what's your problem? I'm like, well, I've been sitting here all this time trying to not say anything. And I can't anymore. I hate the. My mom would just do those all the time. Something I'm telling you, it's trauma as a child. We lived in Northern California, and there's no auto thing where it would turn off with the. We have that, but it still squeaks a little bit, you know. There's that extra one more not. We just get a little squeak. Some people maybe like the squeak. Squeaky clean. But my mom would turn and it would be like barely sprinkling. And she'd have like fat, full blast. I can't see. I'm like, well, you can't see because there's a windshield wiper in your way. I mean, definitely it's sprinkling, so I don't think the rain's in your way. With the constant sprinkler and that annoying noise. But anyways, so the knife and the fork on certain plates. My stepbrother, the one that passed away, he couldn't handle that. He actually he bought different plates for everybody and different forks and knives. I remember when we were kids, he's like, he had saved up his money, or he was working at the time, I don't remember. He probably had a job, I don't remember. And he's like, all right, we're getting rid of these other ones. I can't take any more. We're like, because some plates don't do it as bad as other ones, you know. I don't know the difference of which one does and which ones doesn't. I'm not like a plate expert. This one has less squeak. I actually like bowls. Funny enough. I don't even use plates. This is all I need for my food that I like.